Good afternoon and welcome to the latest issue of Print21, the weekly video news bulletin for the Australia and New Zealand print industry. This issue is sponsored by Ball & Doggett, Australia's largest supplier of printable materials and press room consumables. Print Industry Employers Association, PVCA, is far from happy with the new IR bill going through Parliament, but is committed to helping the industry as a whole, and individual print businesses, of course, navigate through what could be difficult elements of that bill. PVCA will issue an advisory this week and is running an industry briefing seminar in 2 weeks' time, 13th of December, to provide guidance and critical information across the incoming IR legislation. Kelly Northwood, CEO at PVCA, says the advisory notices and the member briefing seminar are being developed with specificity to our industry and to ensure members are well versed in managing the incoming legislation. The Omnibus IR bill is the most significant piece of workplace legislation for more than a decade and has caused increasing angst amongst business leaders. Charles Watson, General Manager IR Policy and Governance at PVCA, he said in particular we are concerned about the multi-employer bargaining part of the bill. We don't want to see a situation where vastly different types of print businesses located in different areas of the country, operating in different sectors, are all lumped together just because they all put ink on paper, or toner of course. Most of the industry actually falls into less than 20 employees category, which are largely exempt from the strictures of multi-employer bargaining. But it means that a print company that has 19 employees may balk at taking on a 20th as they cross the threshold. And likewise, where a printer with 49 staff, they were going to ask themselves some hard questions about taking on a 50th, as that too crosses the threshold, where the onus is on the printer to show why they shouldn't be included in multi-employer bargaining. Below 50, it's the union has to show why they should be. PVCA is also concerned with the sheer amount of time a print business owner may have to spend on multi-employer bargaining negotiations. Charles Watson said that admin, correspondence, meeting and other business, meeting with other businesses, with the Fair Work Commission here, with unions, with staff, demands on print business owners' time could be significant. Go to the story in print21.com.au, follow the link to register for the industry briefing. Good news in the industry now. One of the country's oldest trade houses, Baddock Bookbinders, is back up and running just 7 weeks after a devastating fire ripped through its Sydney facility. The company has made the building good again after the fire, which destroyed the power circuits, much of the plumbing and much of the building, or interior of the building, all now been renewed and replaced. Production equipment has been slowly replaced. Baddock is still waiting on its insurers before it gets its big ticket items such as its PUR binding line. But many smaller items such as folders, guillotines, they've all been installed now, with more to come. Simon Ashmore, Managing Director of the business, which is more than 100 years old, told me that while we've worked hard and we're operational once again, we won't be fully up and running to full speed until the new year. But in fact, we're already full in terms of business for the rest of this year. A Supreme Court ruling against the VicForests native forest logging program is causing industry consternation and could lead to the importation of thousands of tons of overseas pulp, as Opal's Maryvale mill may need to make up a potential shortfall in its supply. Logs from VicForests feed the mill there at Maryvale. Papers produced from that mill from the trees logged by Victorian forests include reflex copy paper, which is 80% of the nation's copy paper, and a range of uncoated wood-free stock, UWF in the parlance, papers used in business and commercial printing applications, books, forms, envelopes, and some offset grades. The logs in native forests represent just 0.1% of the trees annually in the forest, and most of those that are logged are those that have fallen down, that are bushfire risk, or they're hindering the growth of the forest. Congratulations to niche operation Print2Metal, which has scooped the Finder Photographer Australia Industry Vendor of the Year award, with co-owners Frank Huckstra and Maria Cosgrove proud of their third consecutive year win. And congratulations, the company prints metal onto metal by first printing a sublimation media with an inkjet printer, either it's Mimaki or it's Epson, then heat presses that sublimation media onto a Chromolux aluminium sheet. We end on a sad note, as former graphic arts person of the year and well-known identity, Bob Robey has passed away, aged 89, after a lifetime promoting the local industry. Robey was recognised as a doyen of the industry, particularly in the 80s, 90s, in Melbourne, where he headed up several companies, including GAS, RS Robey & Associates, AG Markby, at the typesetting studio and merging images. He was heavily invested in both his own businesses and in the growth and recognition of the industry as a whole, with a vast list of achievements. That's it for this week's Print21. For all these stories in full and more, go to print21.com.au. Thanks to our sponsor, Ball & Doggett. This is Wayne Robinson signing off for this edition of Print21 from the Fair Work Commission, which may become a major part of the print industry.